Journalist reveals clues to location of a huge buried alien spacecraft, and he says that we can reach it. According to what he claims, in the past 90 years, UFO sightings have been reported countless times, but it was only since 2017 that the world began to take unidentified aerial phenomena, what we call UFOs, seriously. From dismissing UFOs as hoaxes to conducting UAP hearings, many things have changed regarding the subject. The United States and other world governments have started treating this matter seriously, and NASA has even established a division to study these phenomena. Interestingly, there is a massive UFO buried on Earth, hidden from the public eye. Before the 2023 congressional UAP hearings on the Jay Anderson Show, Project Unity, award-winning investigative journalist Ross Coulthart dropped a bomb. He said he revealed that there exists a huge UFO in the possession of the United States that cannot be moved, and he knows the location of the craft. Ross mentioned the existence of non-human intelligence engaging with Earth for a long time and the recovery of certain objects, but he could not disclose specific details due to concerns about revealing advanced technologies. In the interview, Coulthart discussed the potential implications of the new U.S. Senate Intelligence Bill. He mentions Douglas Dean Johnson's writing about the bill, which apparently requires holders of non-Earth origins or exotic UAPs materials to make it available to all Domain Anomaly Resolution Office within 6 months. Anderson raised his concern that the 6-month window could give those holding such materials enough time to hide or conceal them. Ross acknowledged that possibility, but suggested that some of the UAP materials could be so large that they cannot be easily moved. And he mentions the existence of a building constructed over such a massive object in a foreign country, which may sound preposterous to some. Okay, people are going to question what I'm about to say. What if some of that is so big it can't be moved? They are so big they built a building over it in a country outside the United States of America. I know that sounds preposterous, and I know, oh my God, you can just hear them now, the bleeding debunkers. Let's see this investigation investigated. Let's just see what happens. Let's test these allegations before Congress, Ross claims. He highlighted the importance of considering the implication of some of the claims, such as those made by David Grush, turn out to be true. He specifically mentions the idea that certain objects might be too large to be moved, which Anderson finds astonishing. Coulthart revealed to Anderson that he shared this information for the first time in the interview. And further, at the end of the interview, Coulthart claims that he knows the exact location of this huge UFO. He assured that this information would come out one day. It's really interesting, he said, because it's absolutely gobsmacking that it's being kept a secret. Imagine having an object that's so big it's just not conceivable to move it. I thought it was bollocks when I heard it too, and most people listening to this will anyway. But yeah, I mean, again, just an allegation, but one that I'm, assured would be taken seriously and hopefully will be investigated by Congress. Because again, where did the money come from? What's that money accounted for? The continued security and control of such an object for many decades. Who's paid for that? What program have paid for that? And what has that been disclosed to taxpayers? This is going to be really fun inquiry if Congress starts doing this, he said. In a recent episode of the UFO podcast, host Andy engaged in a thought-provoking conversation with Ross. The discussion centered around the secrecy surrounding UFO sightings and government knowledge. Ross, who has deep insights into the matter, shared his perspective on why certain details remain undisclosed. Andy began by addressing a critical question that's been on the minds of many UFO enthusiasts: the location of this mysterious gigantic craft. He asked Ross whether he could reveal where the craft was being held, and Ross said, "Let me tell you, I can't tell you the country it's in, it's not America, but what I can tell you is that it's a place where it's kept is used for another purpose that is a laudatory purpose, that's as much as your interests in your country, in the UK, as it is in mine in Australia, as it is in America. The reasons are that there are other uses for the place where this object is stored, and we could end up with a Storm Area 51 type scenario if you came out and announced it, he said. Ross went on to explain the potential consequences of revealing such information, including international incidents and threats to the safety of personnel at the facilities. He also emphasized the importance of protecting sources, drawing on his experience as a journalist dealing with sensitive intelligence. Ross Colfeld says, I don't want the personnel in those facilities to be hurt, and it could create an international incident. I mean, it's up to the U.S. to make the judgment about it. So many people privately know what's going on. What's going on is pretty bloody horrifying and confronting and outrageous. I know the White House knows about it, he said. And he further says, I've been in situations where Ross says, I've known the identities of active intelligence operatives in countries overseas, and I've realized that if I publish this, I could jeopardize their lives. There is an element of source protection as well. He expressed a wish for more significant leadership and transparency from the U.S. government. He said, I wish somebody in the U.S. intelligence community would show leadership and develop a spine to go to the White House National Security Advisor and say, Mr. Sullivan, for God's sake, let us put out some kind of statement, because we are really at that state at the moment. Ross believes that the evidence regarding non-human intelligence engaged with the planet is undeniable and should be shared with the public. He said, I think they should say that we are aware of a non-human existence. And this revelation left the UFO community curious about the place where the craft might be situated. The late former CIA pilot John Lear previously mentioned the existence of buried crafts too massive to move. In 2018, Lear posted on Facebook recounting the enigmatic tale of a massive buried UFO near Garrison, Utah. This particular incident became a topic of discussion at a UFO conference in Las Vegas, piquing Lear's curiosity. Lear even provided the coordinates of the location: latitude 38 degrees 37 minutes 40 seconds north, longitude 113 degrees 40 minutes 40 seconds west. This further deepens the mystery, leaving people intrigued about the truth surrounding the buried UFO near Garrison, Utah. Moreover, there is alleged John Lear's statement on the alien presence posted to Paranet on December 29, 1987. There's also possession of the more of Aquarius documents, a few pages of which leaked out several years ago, detailing the super secret NSA project, which had been denied by them until just recently. In a letter to Senator John Glenn, NSA Director of Policy Julia Wetzel wrote, apparently there is or was an Air Force project by the name Aquarius, which dealt with UFOs. Coincidentally, there is also an NSA project by that name, she said. And this is on House and Wife by Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments about this. Thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.